"Don't talk to me at this party. You're embarrassing," she demanded at the door. I said, "Deal," and left. She texted an hour later. "Where did you go?" I replied, "Somewhere I'm not embarrassing," and blocked her number. What happened next? My phone buzzed in my pocket as the elevator doors slid shut. One word lit the screen. "Where?" I didn't answer. I watched my reflection instead. Tie loosened. Jaw set, eyes calmer than they should have been. The kind of calm that comes after something inside you snaps cleanly, without noise. The party was still breathing above. Me. Laughter. Music. Glasses clinking like teeth. She was up there performing. She always performed. I'd felt it at the door. Her hand on my chest, fingernails pressing through fabric. That smile she used when she wanted obedience without witnesses. "Don't talk to me tonight," she'd said, low and sharp. "You're embarrassing." Not angry. Not ashamed. Strategic. I'd nodded. Said one word. "Deal." Then I stepped backward into the elevator before she could correct me. The doors closed. The cable hummed. And for the first time in months, my chest felt quiet. Another vibration. "Where did you go?" I imagined her scanning the room, counting faces, calculating damage. I typed slowly. "Somewhere I'm not embarrassing." Then I blocked her number. That should have been the end, but endings are never that simple. When someone has been editing your reality for years, I'd suspected long before that night. Not infidelity, not exactly. Something worse. A private life I wasn't invited into. A version of her that existed only when I wasn't looking. There were signs. Small ones. A phone turned face down like a habit. Passwords changed for security. New. Friends whose names slid off her tongue too quickly, like lies rehearsed but never memorized. And then there was the way she spoke to me in public. Correcting, redirecting, minimizing. Always with a smile. At that party, I finally saw it clearly. The way she laughed too loud at someone else's joke. The way her hand rested on another man's arm just long enough to mean something. The way she flinched when I stepped beside her, like I'd walked into the wrong scene. I wasn't her partner. I was a liability. I didn't confront her. I don't believe in scenes. Scenes are for people who still hope to be reassured. Instead, I went quiet. I watched. I pulled phone records under the guise of upgrading our plan. Late-night calls. Repeated numbers saved under fake names. One in particular, frequent, long, intimate. I checked calendars. Trips she said were for work, booked alongside his. I listened when she talked. Not to the story, but to the gaps between sentences. The places where truth should have been, but wasn't. I smiled when she kissed me goodbye, already knowing who she was meeting after. At night, I lay beside her and counted her breaths, wondering how easy it was to sleep next to someone you'd erased. I didn't feel rage. I felt focused. The confirmation arrived on a Tuesday. An email, forwarded accidentally, she'd later claim. A reservation confirmation. 2 guests, 1 room. His name spelled correctly. Mine absent. I didn't react. I forwarded it back with a single word. Received. That evening, I placed my phone on the table between us. "Who's he?" I asked. No accusation, no edge. She froze. "Just for a second. Enough." "That's nothing," she said too quickly. I slid the phone closer. Let the screen speak. Her face collapsed inward. The performance finally dropped. "I was going to tell you," she whispered. I nodded. Not because I believed her. Because I already knew what came next. Tears, justification, revisionist history. I let it all wash over me like static. When she finished, I stood. "I packed," I said. "I'm leaving tonight." Her eyes widened. Fear now, not guilt. "You can't just leave," she said. "After everything." I smiled then, small, controlled. I already did. The revenge wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. I sent one email the next morning. To her parents. Her colleagues. A clean timeline, screenshots, receipts, no commentary. Just facts laid out with surgical precision. Truth is heavier when you don't dress it up. She called from borrowed numbers. Left voicemails that swung between rage and desperation. She accused me of cruelty, of betrayal. I didn't respond. I watched from a distance as her life constricted. Invitations rescinded. Whispers followed her. The man disappeared the moment secrecy was no longer guaranteed. She tried to apologize publicly, to frame herself as misunderstood. But narratives collapse when evidence exists. Mine didn't need defending. Weeks later, I saw her by chance, at a cafe, alone, smaller somehow. She looked up. Hope flickered. I didn't stop walking. I didn't owe her closure. I'd already taken what mattered back, myself. I don't think about her much now. Sometimes I remember the party, the music, the door closing. The exact moment I chose silence over pleading. That was the pivot. I didn't win because she suffered. I won because I left before she could rewrite the ending, and I never went back to explain myself.